see me okay? Welcome to our practice. Hopefully everyone can hear me all right. Turn the music up in the background a little bit. Look, I'm like a giant when I stand like this. Okay, so we're starting standing and let's find ourselves in our standing mountain. Focusing today on strength, not only physical, emotional, mental. We'll open up into our mountain pose, reaching our fingertips down towards the mat. Closing our eyes, softening through our shoulders, lengthening through our necks. And we notice the earth beneath our feet as we root down, all 10 toes touching the mat, our heels on both feet pressing down. Breathe. Breathing in strength today. Closing your eyes and just taking the next few breaths to go within, to feel the strength of your core surrounding your spine. Breathing in and inhaling positivity today, exhaling and negativity. Let's close our hands into fists on an exhale and then open up on an inhale, stretching our hands, exhaling, closing, inhaling, opening. Just getting in touch with the breath, feeling the strength of our own bodies. As we look within today for strength and guidance, reminding ourselves and maybe learning today that it's already in there. Everything we need is within. A couple more breaths with our hands. And we'll start our flowing mountain with an option to lift up your heels to come up off the mat. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bringing our hands back down. So you could stay anchored or reach up. Maybe touching our thumbs together. Closing our eyes if it feels okay for our balance. Our entire inhale to come up and our whole exhale to come back down. Waiting to start our movement when the breath starts. Releasing any feelings of competition today, any judgment or expectation. One more flowing mountain with or without that lift. And we'll turn this into stepping back our right foot or your left, whichever one you want to. Moving into our moonflowers. Our regular warm up for our Wednesday class, full body strength. I'll just let whoever, Marla in. Couple more. Hey Marla, just getting into our warm up. You haven't missed much, just a flowing mountain and a moonflower flow. Let's turn it into sunflower, hinge towards the mat. Now I started going a little too fast. Move with the breath. Defining ourselves today. Warming up our hips, our knees, our elbows, our back, all of the major joints and muscles with these movements. Last one of our sunflowers, stepping back up to the tops of our mats to flow through our chair, choosing where it feels nice today for our hands to go. Reaching long or keeping the hands at heart. Or you could try something interesting, reach back. You can move into cactus arms if you're stretching your chest. So many options. So do what feels good for you. Turning this into our aeroplane. So we have a small bend in our knees now. Imagine gazing over the edge of that cliff, diving forward, and we're warming up our lower back. Breathing, listen to your body. Slow down to the breath. Honor the injuries or any limitations that you might have today. You can stay with your airplane or move right into our forward fold flow. If your back is feeling nice, you can add a back bend at the top. Oh, that feels so good. Warming up. So each time we're reaching up, we're also pressing down into the earth through both of our feet. So we press into the earth and reach. Anchor down and lengthen. One more forward fold flow. We'll hold our head down, let it hang, let it dangle. You can have a little bend in your knees or a big bend, resting your belly right on your thighs. Let's shake our head gently no to any judgment. Judgment with our thoughts or actions. And nod at yes to being kind. Bending our knees, we'll be stepping our right foot back. Bringing that right knee down or keeping it up for a full lunge, rising up into our lunge. And taking it back to all fours or slide the hips back to child's pose. So all fours or child's pose. Take your time getting there. We can massage our forehead down onto the mat, letting go of any tension in our forehead, which also allows our eyeballs to rest. Wonderful. Gazing up to our hands. We'll come up to our cat and cow. A little hip opener today. So taking our right foot out and moving through our cat and cow like so. Focusing on the lower part of our body for this purpose of today's class. So make sure to breathe and flow. One vertebrae at a time. See if you can really notice that spine and how it's connected to the rest of your body. One more on this side. And then we will go to the other side. So the other foot reaching out. If you'd like to take a little rest in child's pose here, you can. And let's move through cat and cow with our leg out. Kind of warming up that ball and socket. Breathe. Inhaling confidence, exhaling doubt. One more. And we'll slide it to child's pose. Unless downward dog is calling your name, you can float on up into downward dog or stay here with me in child's pose. Letting your body melt down onto your thighs and feeling some space across our lower back. Amazing job. We'll come back up to all fours. Slide those hands back underneath our shoulders so at the creases of our elbows just a little bit forward so that you're rotating those shoulders a little to come in to hug the spine slightly. Let's stay on one side today. So, or I guess it's not one side. Left arm forward, right foot back. And we're going to stay with this little crunch about 5 times on this one side. And inhale, reach, exhale, crunch. Now, if this isn't feeling great for you and you like our regular one, you can do that instead. Breathe and lengthen. Exhale and strengthen. Feeling secure today, wherever we are, safe and warm. Last one. I think I said 5. I think we probably did about 10. Let's do the other side. Reach long, and then we have our crunch. Every day growing stronger. Last one. Back to child's pose or downward dog. Choose what works for you in this moment. Down dog or child's pose. Pressing into both of our hands. If we choose our downward dog, we'll pedal our feet out, lengthening, or we're just enjoying that wonderful child's pose. So one breath, one move. One inhale and one exhale for one heel drop. Last one. Let's come back down to all fours and take a little seat. So I'm mixing this up a little bit. I'm going to do a flowing deer. Adjust your clothes if you want to. Okay, so some space between our feet. We're going to flow deer pose. So deer, like I think we practiced, is like this, with or without a bolster, but we're just going to flow it as our warm up. We'll hold it later. So I like to have some space between the feet, and we're going to drop them to one side and then the other. You can be having your hands back behind you. If you wanted to add a little bit more, you'd be coming up, stretching out your hip flexor, switching the feet, coming up, stretching out your hip flexor. So you're either doing that little stretch and reach with or without the hands, or you're leaning back, dropping your knees to one side and then the other. So there, I love this for your backside stretch, or you're bringing it up. Amazing. Okay, so you can do one more there for our little deer. And then we'll be making our way back to all fours. So just threw that in there for fun, because it should be fun. We want to mix it up a little bit. So make your way back to your all fours, and let's start our half series. Inhale into that fuller kneeling plank. Feel the core catch you. Again, those shoulders kind of hug in the spine, and then we drop either halfway or all the way to our belly. Moving into our up dog or our cobra. Either back to down dog or your belly with me. Then the lift and the sliding back. Let's try it again. Inhale forward. Exhale down, or holding that halfway. Open up into your cobra. Back to the belly. Press into the hands and sit back. All right, let's do it one more time. Inhale forward. Slowly lower, a whole exhale. If you want to do cup hands so that you focus more on your low back, you can. Coming up into our cobras, we draw the shoulders down. Take your time. We'll meet back in down dog or child's pose. You know, no rush. So if we are in our downward facing dog, let's come down to child's pose. We're going to go through our kneeling sun salutations. Just a couple times. So from our child's pose, we rise right up on an inhale to our knees. So we come up onto our knees, reach our hands up to the sky. Bring the hands back behind our body. Support the lower back, open up into a camel pose. So we're stretching our chest. And then to all fours. Shifting forward to our kneeling plank, we come down to the belly, open up into cobra. So our half series is kind of the middle part of it. Back to the belly. The only difference is when we push up to all fours here, now we move into a puppy pose to open the chest. So our hips are high, our tail is high up in the sky if we were a puppy dog. Wonderful. Then you'll push back to all fours. And child's pose. That was one. Let's try it again. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Feel the length. Exhale, bring them back behind you. Inhale, open up into our chest expansion or your kneeling camel. Exhale, come all the way as you slowly lower to the belly for your plank. Open up into cobra. Back to our bellies. We'll press up to all fours. Exhale to puppy pose. Hips stay high. Inhale all fours. Exhale, child's pose. Let's do it again. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands come back behind us. Inhale, open up into our camel. Exhale, we slowly lower right down to the belly. So that's that slow exhale to the belly. Cobra, breathe in. Back to your belly, breathe out. Breathe in all fours. Breathe out, puppy pose. Breathe in all fours. Breathe out, child's pose. Amazing job. Gazing up at our hands, and we'll now be bringing your left foot up between the hands. Find our lunge here on this side. Inhale. Hip flexors hopefully nice and warm from that flowing deer that we did. Then we frame our front foot, tuck our back toes back on, push and fold. Forward fold. Let the head hang here. Let's flow through our monkey pose. Halfway up, inhale. Exhale, folding. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, folding. One more time for our monkey, and we'll actually be exhaling to chair. Awesome job. So from our chair pose standing up, let's grab our right knee and lift it up. Stretch our back. Lots of fun stuff added in today. Take that right foot now back and reach up into our lunge. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, back up. Exhale, warrior three. So if you remember, this is our cycling warm-up. As we lift the chest, we bring that knee back up towards the belly as we straighten out. Exhale to chair pose. Inhale, lift the other knee. So maybe your left knee, we lift up, bring it to chest. Exhale, sweep it back into our lunge. So we reach up and then forward, back up. And then warrior three, so the weight goes onto the front foot. We lift the back foot. Now as we lift the chest, we bring that knee through, back up to heart. Exhale to chair pose. Forward fold. Amazing job, everybody. Inhale, sweeping all the way up. Let's bring our hands back behind us. Open up into our chest expansion. Maybe reverse prayer for you today. And then choosing if you'd like to fold or stay up. You could even just be imagining a ball behind you to open up your chest. It activates some different muscles when we're not holding onto our hands, when we have to hold it back there just with our own muscles. Breathe. A few more breaths. And sweep it all the way up. Inhale. Exhale to mountain pose. Relax the shoulders. Adjustment time for our close. So we did our kneeling sun salutation. And you know what? I think that'll be our sun salutation, and that warm up that we did will be suffice for our warm up today, because I don't want to run out of time for all these strength poses. Chat, you know how I am. All right, let's go into our bear pose. Eventually, we're just going to do a few things first. So hands will come together. You can clasp them, maybe give your wrists a little joint churn here. One way, notice which way you're going, and then try to go the other way. Should feel good. All right, now our hands are staying together. Let's reach them up. If we can, our biceps are kind of right here between our ears are right between our biceps. Pressing into both of our feet, tipping over to one side. So we're reaching with our hands. You can feel a stretch in your wrists. Breathe. It's like a little moon you're making with your body. back up, lengthen, and then over to the other side. Maybe softening our knees so we're not locking our knee joints. We'll come up and lengthen again. And if it feels okay, we'll tip back, but keeping our biceps beside our ears. Now, if it doesn't feel good for you, take those hands to your lower back and do more of a standing camel back bend. Come back to our regular, reaching up, and now right into a fold. Maybe you've got blocks in front of you if your hands don't quite come to the mat today. So blocks or no blocks. We're looking in front of our hands. So we've got a nice long neck. If you were to draw a triangle, you'd have your hands at the base and your gaze just slightly in front. Breathe. Amazing. I'm going to grab a block. Now we'll be lifting up our left hand for a twist or tucking it back behind us. So it's either up or back. Think of the hips though, they're still facing the floor. Our twist is happening up here in our ribs. Oh, feels good. Talking a little bit normaler, if that's a thing, if that's a word today, so it feels good. And let's bring it to the other side. So you'll have your hand maybe under block or the floor. So it's still a little bit in front of us. And now we open up our twist on the other side. So we've got a stretch in our hamstrings, a stretch throughout our spine. Amazing. We'll bring the chest so it faces the floor again. If you do have a block, this can be a nice, I think it's in your anterior deltoids, to strengthen them. We're going to lift our block up as we come into chair. Now you don't have to use a block. You don't want to. You could have your hands at your heart, or we're working towards, again, those biceps coming up by our ears. If that feels uncomfortable for your back, please do bring your hands to heart. And now we go into bear pose. We bend our knees deeply, rest our belly right on our thighs, reaching our hands forward. So the shirt's kind of there. So you could be seated on your chair. This is bear. Could be squeezing that block or just reaching, or hands clasped. How about that for some strength? Straighten out into our regular mountain, hands by our sides. Inhale, sweep up. Bring our hands again to our clasp. Exhale, tip over. Inhale, reach. Again, exhale, tip to the other side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back bend if that's accessible for you. If not, and then just stay straight. I feel like I'm bending in half, but I'm not. And that's what it's about, guys. The feeling. Inhale, lengthen again. Exhale, fold with hands in front of us. Create that triangle again with our gaze. Nice and strong. So there is a little bend in our knees. Then we will reach our left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up. Exhale, bring the hand back to the floor. All right, bending our knees. We're reaching our hands long for our bear pose. Bringing our biceps by our ears. You can rest that belly right on your legs if you want to. Bear. Strong, strength. Check in with the feet. Are they pressing both down? Let's fold, exhale. Inhale, sweep it all the way up. Exhale, mountain pose. Let's bring our right arm across the body, stretch out our shoulder. Sorry if that hits the mic and makes a funny sound. And you can look down that shoulder. So we're drawing the arm across. Big open up for the wings. Sweep the other arm across and down. So the shoulder comes down from that ear. And we can look down the opposite or look away from the hand that's reaching long. So there was our bear flow. Now we'll get into some warriors. Let's take our right foot forward, pointing up towards that short edge of your mat. and your left foot is lunging back. Dropping the heel, warrior two. So opening up the chest, if your right knee is forward, that right arm goes forward and the left arm is sweeping back. We open up and sink into our legs. Perhaps you've got a chair underneath your backside here. Fantastic. Gazing down our hand, let's survey our battlefield. What is in front of us? Breathe in some confidence. Exhale some doubt. Accepting ourselves today right where we are on our healing journey. Relaxing our shoulders from the ears. Breathing. Confident and focused. Moving into reverse warrior, our legs stay where they are. We'll turn our right palm up and then reach it up to the sky. Choose if we are feeling like we want to gaze up to the stars or the sun, or back down to the earth to find a little more grounding. Breathe. Notice this moment right now. Here you are, defining yourself, every day getting stronger. Right into our side angle. So now that right elbow will come down onto the knee and we'll sweep the other arm long or tuck it back behind you, especially if you're healing your back or your shoulder. So for anyone that wants to do some work on our shoulder, if they're feeling good, we'll add some circles. Opening up and then bringing it down. I like to, so the palm is facing my body as it comes around the front, and then I open it and then it comes back to face the body. So it opens and then back to face the body. Feel the length. You start to forget about all of the sensation in that front leg. Just kidding. I'm definitely feeling it. Last one. Both arms can reach out or just one arm. And then we'll be framing our front foot as we lift our back heel, stepping back to downward facing dog, or all fours, or child's pose. Choose to take a little rest here or flow through your half series. Inhale forward or rest. Hold here, go chaturanga or belly. Up dog or cobra. Again, you could be resting. Back to down dog. We'll meet either in down dog or all fours, and then bringing the left foot up between the hands, dropping our back heel down, right up into warrior two. So I like to sweep up that right hand, it goes back, and the left arm goes forward. I'm just going to switch so I can see you. So we've got our warrior two on the other side, reaching long, bringing the spine straight. Check in with the feet. Notice where the feet are connecting both heels, the pads of our feet. Maybe there's a little lift in our instep. All 10 toes. Gazing down that other battlefield. Looking within today for strength, for guidance. It's all there. Closing our eyes if it feels okay to really settle down into the earth while our head is reaching up. Our fingertips reaching away. Let's turn that front palm up and then up into our reverse warrior, where it might feel nice to gaze up at the sun or the stars, or keep your neck in line with your chest, or take a little look back at your back heel. Breathe. So amazing. Don't forget about that core. And into our side angle, we'll bring that front elbow down onto the front knee, reach our arm up or tuck it back. And then we can add our circles if you want to. We'll reach forward, or sorry, reach it back, palm turns towards the body, then you open and close. So your shoulder is basically doing that for you, but just trying not to force it. If you're feeling something that doesn't feel good, pull back a little bit. Great lubrication for our shoulder joints. One more big circle, and then we can choose to hang out in our side angle or reach long with both arms. If it feels not so great for the back, then just pull back a little bit, hold on to that side angle. This time we're stepping to bear pose. So we'll frame our front foot, lift our back heel, take that foot up beside the other foot, bend our knees, reach long for our bear pose. You might notice one leg has a little more sensation than the other. So maybe you put a little extra pressure down into the opposite foot until it equals out. Let's come up into mountain, straightening up. Into mountain. Give yourself a hug. Call this a bear hug today. I am grounded into the earth and balanced. Let's open up, take the other elbow on top. So we're also stretching our shoulders while we give ourselves a nice hug that we do deserve, of course. Close your eyes. Give yourself some hug. Really notice how you feel, how it feels to give yourself a good squeeze. Wonderful. Hands will come down to our sides. Going to, crazy hair, do our little tortoise neck. So if it feels better, you'll go right to the wall, shoulder blades to the wall, or you're just standing. So just like a little tortoise or turtle, we'll draw our chin in. So the more chins you can make, the better. Draw it in. So we're stretching out these neck muscles here. Really good for tight jaws. And then we'll reach the chin forward, but keeping our shoulders back. Draw it in, make our chins, and then reach it forward, stretching out our necks. Little tortoise, we'll bring that head back into our shell. One more time. And then forward. Give yourself your bear hug now and draw that chin in. So separating the shoulder blades while we draw the chin in. Amazing job. All right, let's bring that right foot forward, left foot back. Couple more balance, or sorry, strength poses. So warrior one, this time heel is down, chest is facing the front mat or the front edge of your mat. We'll flow and then we're going to hold. Let's bring our hands to heart. And then reach them up. You can have them together or apart, whatever works for you. Our flow will be as we straighten our leg, our hands come back to our heart. And then we float back down into our warrior one. So straightening, hands to heart, bending, hands reaching to sky. A few more on your own. Inhale as we bend the knee. Exhale as you bring it up. Maybe we close our eyes. Let go of outside distractions and just do our flow at our pace. Last one. Exhale, bring our hands back behind us. Inhale, open up our chest into chest expansion. Stay here for a few breaths or fold into humble warrior. We can be letting our head be heavy, diving into the inside of that leg or resting our belly on top of it. As we rise back up, we move into cactus arms. Inhale, rise up, elbows come in line with our shoulders. So cactus today is used to represent the heat of summer. Remember, as the weather gets warmer, to replenish with fluids. Wonderful. All right, frame the front foot, lift the back heel. We're just going to switch to the other side. Bring the opposite foot up. Drop the heel down. We rise right up into our warrior. Maybe our palms are together up here. And then we add our flow. Straightening, hands to heart. Bending, hands reaching up. Inhale as we come down. Exhale as we bring hands to heart. So as you inhale, feel the lungs expanding the rib cage. Exhale. Feel all that air coming out. One more. As we come back down to our bent knee, inhale. Exhale, hands come back behind us. Inhale, open up into our chest expansion. Stay here or humble warrior. Bowing down, still pressing into both of those feet, or you're up. Long, strong core. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Let's rise up to our cactus arms. Feel the strength of your shoulder blades as they come together a little bit in the back. Feeling open across our heart, maybe a little vulnerable in these poses, but we can be vulnerable because of our strength. Holding it here. One or two more breaths before we come to our mats. Wonderful. Lift the back heel. And we'll be sitting it back to downward facing dog. Take your time, or all fours, whatever works for you. Moving into our plank pose on an inhale. We can hold here for a breath or two. If you would like to come down to your knees, we'll come down to our knees for our plank. We're down on the mat now. So if you need to adjust your cameras, you can, or stay right where you are. Growing stronger through our core in our plank. Breathe. Oh, someone's lost their internet. All right, all fours, inhale. Exhale, child's pose. Hanging out here, resting, feeling calm in our minds, rested in our bodies. From here, making our way to a seated position, dropping down onto one hip, and we'll stay there in our deer pose. So we've got our hip, a couple options here. Personally, I put my foot right on my thigh, but if you had a little more mobility in your hips, could maybe do 90 and 90. But this is where I go for myself. I've got my left foot, my left knee forward, and my right hand is going to come across to it. Now, for the sake of today, if you'd like to, you can have your bolster and you could rest your deer pose. So we turn towards our bolster and rest. Or we're just adding that twist, looking over the back shoulder. Make any adjustments you need to feel good. If this hip is not feeling nice, slide that knee up so that you're maybe in more of a bent position. Deer. Just be doing that on the other side. And then we'll move into our wide boat, which I actually learned while creating another class. Wide boat is also called polar bear. Let's press our hands down, lift up, and we'll sweep it to the other side for our deer. You can use your bolster if you want to, bring it around. So if your right knee is forward, then your left hand comes around, and maybe you just do your twist, or you're resting on your bolster down for a little more relaxation for your deer. Whatever feels good. Don't mind them sound. They're working on the bocce courts across the hall. If you can hear that. All right. So this is a pose you could come back to and try maybe later if you wanted to again. Let's come up and move into our polar bear or our wide boat. I'm sure you've seen the videos of polar bears hanging onto their toes, just rocking and rolling. So let's bring ourselves into our boats. Maybe we're holding on or not. And we're going to have that choice today to stay with our boat, any version that speaks to us, or move into our polar bear or wide boat where we reach our peace fingers for our toes or our heels, our ankles, or even the backs of your knees, and we open up into our polar bear. Breathe, just have some fun with it. If you roll back, you roll back. That's what the polar bears like to do that. Close your eyes, settle in, or your regular boat pose. Softening our jaw, lengthening our necks. Amazing. Soles of the feet will come together. Let's move into our butterfly pose. Take your time. Lengthening up through our spines. And we'll sit the spine so that, again, it stacks one on top of the other, reaching up long. You can have your feet close to your groin or far away, depending on how those hips are feeling at this point. Wonderful. Flapping our wings if we want to. And then holding. Close your eyes. Breathe. Drawing the knees together, you can use your hands. You can roll back onto your back. We've just got our roll back, our happy baby. And then our twist. So we'll roll, take a rock and roll. And then our happy baby, we find some space between our knees. So those knees are coming towards our armpit or the mat on the outside of our body. You can hold on to the backs of the legs, the ankles, tops of the feet from the inside, or tops of the feet from the outside. Whatever works for you. Or peace fingers to your toes. You can rock your happy baby or hold. If there's any other poses that you wanted to do, you could add those in here before our little meditation at the end. Breathe. All right. Let's bring those knees together. Put our feet, let's go to 90 degrees with our knees. We'll do our twist that way today. 90 degrees with the knees, and we'll drop them over down to one side. If you were wanting to stretch your IT band a little more actively, then you'd extend your top leg. You could even reach your hand for your toe if you wanted to. So we're there for about 10 breaths, probably halfway there. And all the way over to the other side. Engage the core, make sure it's working. So we don't want to be pressing into our head here to bring our body over. We want the shoulders anchored all the way to the other side for our big open space across our chest. And if you wanted to extend that top leg, you could. Staying there for about 5 or 10 more breaths. Take your time. And then when you're ready, we'll draw both of your knees back into your heart and settle into your version of Shavasana today. Friday we'll have a nice long one. Today I have a simple little thought or quote to bring to you. So settle into your Shavasana or find a seat. Take all the time that you need to settle in, anchoring down. And as we settle in, release the weight of the body down into the mat. Feel your body melting down, spreading out, releasing tension. Our bodies are rested. Our mind is calm. Our hearts are at peace. And our spirits soar. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new energy into your being today. May you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life. Namaste. I hope that you can spend some time in your Shavasana, and I will see you tomorrow or Friday.